What up? What up? Welcome back, you guys. Strong, well-fed, outspoken. If you are brand new to the pod, my name is Rusty, aka Coach Frizzle.
What's up, guys? I'm Coach Nel, aka Coach Nel.
That's all you get. Take it or leave it. What's going on? Anything new with you before we dive in here?
Well, I've tried to ride my motorcycle every day this week, and I have gotten rained on every
I
single day
actually
this
saw
week.
that on your story. That's hilarious.
So I'm feeling a little damp these days.
That's awesome.
But you just got back to the country. So how's the climate where you are?
Oh yeah, thankfully no, it's like not a shock this time around because going from like Hawaii to back to Canada, but in June and July, it's actually pretty nice. I won't lie, when I first got off the plane, I was like, you could still tell like the difference. I feel like I've only just still climatized that extra like 5 degrees. It's a different type of heat, right? Like in Hawaii, it's like a sauna, and
Yeah.
here there's still like that. I don't know. I
Which is so funny because when I go to Ontario, because I'm in the prairies, right? I'm
Yeah.
like, it's so humid here.
Yeah, I imagine that probably is even cool because you're by the mountains and stuff too, right?
Yeah, like we're north. It's just mountains and trees.
Yeah.
Dry.
So you have even probably better, yeah, I guess what would that be like breathability? There's like
Well, I would normally agree, except because we live like right by the oil sands.
Mhm.
I feel like the air tastes like Vaseline.
Oh, gross. Ew. That's brutal. That
Yeah.
is brutal. Um, yeah, that's gross. Have you watched that speaking of the oil sands, have you watched that show? What I want to say it's called, oh no, Landman. That's what it's called. Have you seen
No.
that? No, it's
No.
fantastic. It's
Oh, okay.
well, did you ever watch Yellowstone?
No.
What is wrong with you? Oh my gosh.
I'm the kind of person that watches the same 5 shows over and over and over again until I die.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, what are your shows? You have to tell us now.
Well, currently I'm rewatching One Tree Hill.
Okay. I actually started rewatching that back in the winter myself, to be
Stop.
honest. Yeah, I loved that show when I was
Me
growing
too.
up.
Me
Oh,
too.
man.
Although I'm watching it now and I'm like, these people are garbage. These
Yes,
parents
okay.
suck.
That and also I'm watching it, I'm like, this is actually pretty cringe. Like the acting is pretty terrible. No offense, like, Chad Michael Murray, if you're watching this, I think you're awesome, but like it's pretty bad. Or
Yeah.
maybe it's just the writing, but I'm like, even Steph the one day was in the room with me and he's like, what are you watching? Like a daytime soap opera? I'm like, kind of.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. But it's it's bad. Okay, but what are your other shows?
Oh, so I love happy endings. If you guys
Yeah.
haven't watched happy endings, you have to. It was like a 3-season sort of Friends setup with
I've
like a
never
group of
seen it.
friends. You just follow their life. It's
When you
hilarious.
said
I
happy
think it's
endings,
so
I thought
funny.
you just meant like shows that end happily. I didn't realize it was
No, like it's a show. It's called Happy Endings. I think there's 3 seasons. I think it's so funny.
that's hilarious. Okay, I've never heard of this
Yeah,
one.
that one. And then like I watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine over and
Okay.
over
Well, I can
again.
see that. Yeah, you have
Yeah.
that definitely type of personality. Yeah.
Yeah, like I like police humor. I think it's funny.
Sure.
I
Well,
like a
like
sarcastic moment.
field and like your man. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what's your comfort show before we dive into our, bread and
Actual
butter of the
topic.
episode? Yeah.
Yeah, I love watching like new shows, but I definitely have my repeats as well. For me, the Mindy Project, I've watched
Oh, that's
that
a good one.
so
I
many times. I
definitely watched that
love that
multiple
show. I
times.
love Mindy. She's so funny. Friends is a big one for me. I will rewatch Friends for the rest of my life. I actually also love I Love Lucy. I grew up watching I Love Lucy and I love it. I still watch that. But Downton Abbey. I'm a big Downton
Oh, I
Abbey
loved
fan.
Downton Abbey.
Yeah,
That was a
it's
good
so
one.
good.
Yeah.
I think I've already watched it 2 or 3 times, and the other night, Steph and I were just flipping Netflix, and it's still on there, right? And so the preview came up, and we just stopped and watched it, and we were like, "You want to watch it again? It's so good. It's
It
such a
really
good
is.
show." Yeah. But yeah, no, comfort shows and like rewatch shows, they're the best because you don't have to like
Yeah, like I'll watch something new,
yeah,
but what like because so I work from home. I like a little bit of atmosphere
yeah,
because
background
I was used to
noise.
like working in public or
Yep,
working in school, right? Like there was always something. So
yep.
yeah, I just throw the TV on, something I don't have to pay attention to while I, program and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I'm totally the same way.
And like if you have ADHD, it's called body doubling. You can do
Yeah.
it with your TV. Life hack.
That's awesome. Anyways, guys, we'll dive in here now. So it is officially Well, depending when you guys hear this, it should be July. So it is July, which means we have just passed the halfway point through the year. I know a lot of people do different, like actually celebrations this time of year. Like people do like Christmas in July or something, don't they?
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
I
have
have no
you ever
idea.
heard of
I
that?
did Christmas in July once, but that was because we were at my grandparents and our family's never together.
Oh, fair
They're
enough.
like all the holidays right now.
But I feel like it's actually called something, and now I
Oh,
forget. I'm trying to Google it,
yeah,
but
right.
I'm pretty sure there's like an actual celebration. I can't find it. Um, anyways, if you're
Well,
listening,
Hallmark is doing Christmas in July, and if you love a Hallmark Christmas, that's for you.
what's it called? I'm trying to Google like what's it called when people celebrate Christmas halfway through the year. We're just like totally taking you guys on this journey with us.
This has nothing to do with today's topic.
Like it kind of does.
I
But what's
guess,
that?
yes. So if you guys are new here, welcome. If you're not new here, you
Yep.
may have recalled early on last year, or maybe even
Yep.
December, we had talked about like setting goals and resolutions and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So today is going to be about where are you at
There
now?
you are. Yes. Consider this an accountability check, bitch. We are halfway through the year. And so you guys now this should not be scary. If it feels scary for you to think about where you are versus where you started, it's likely because you haven't actually been honest with the work you've been putting in, right?
That, or you did a bad job of setting goals and
Yep.
you feel like you're
They
falling
weren't
short.
realistic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, guilt can sometimes be, I know a lot of people are like, there's literally no purpose. Like, guilt is an emotion you absolutely don't need. I actually disagree. I think that in a healthy context, guilt can be your own personal accountability check, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
A way of you being like, okay, I'm not living, acting, behaving in a way that I actually want to. And so therefore I feel some guilt about it. This is guilt that spurs healthy change. Guilt that you can't do anything about, yeah, I would say is pointless. It's not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. So we really want to ask you guys, first of all, I guess we could say like hands up. Well, not that we can tell, but hands up.
You can put it in the comments, little hand emoji.
Exactly. Hands up if you feel like you are not where you want to be or not where you wanted to be when you started off 2025. And honestly, you might even put your hand up from the perspective of like you actually had great intentions and were following through, but then life happened and you literally had no choice, but you had to change course. Like, if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm not where I thought I would be right now, but I didn't realize until February, March that I needed to actually switch gears and prioritize a health phase. January, I didn't think I'd be here, but guess what? I am here.
Yeah, end of February, I said, let's build. I want to bulk. I want to get buff. And 4 weeks ago, I was like, I am not doing well.
Yep.
I have underlying health issues I got to figure out, and that's fine.
Yep.
Right. But part of the process is, where are you?
Exactly.
What are you doing? Right.
Yes. And I think both of us feel okay about the fact that we're not maybe where we thought we would be, but we're okay with it because we're still showing up, working on our health in ways that are still kind of the overarching theme here, right?
Yeah, because we want to look at like, is it organized and efficient? And because we had set those goals, we're able to actually see like, hey, these do need to change, right?
Yeah.
We have some metrics to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a good time, first of all, as we dive in here, to ask yourself, are you where you want to be? Are you where you intended to be? Are you moving forward in a positive direction? Period. Have you spent the last several months, weeks, whatever it is, moving in a direction that is forward, even if what your goals look like did have to change? Another big thing though here as well, right, is you might also feel like I'm not where I want to be, but I also feel like I don't know where I'm going. And that's a really fair thing to also be able to assess in yourself, because it would be like driving really, really fast down the highway. And you're like, I got to get there fast. And somebody's like, well, where are you going? And you're like, I don't actually really know. It's like, well,
that's a really good analogy,
right? It doesn't really matter how fast you're going if you don't know where it is you are going. So maybe already you might need to pause this and ask yourself, do I even know the direction that I'm headed? Maybe that's the first thing that you need to assess as we move forward into the second half of the year.
Yeah, because we need to look at what was or is your plan. What was the goal?
Yep. Yep. So there's a couple things that we're going to go over with you guys to help you kind of figure out, am I headed in the right direction? Do I know where I'm going? You know, if I'm not where I thought I would be because I'm not showing up for myself, like maybe what needs to change here so that I can turn the second half of the year around and really start to make some good progress. First thing I really thought of here when we were kind of doing our notes for today is kind of what I said about, do you know where you're going, in a similar but different sense. Okay. You can be organized with your goals. There are people that we work with that are like on it. They like have their workout logs, their meal like diaries, like they're just on it. They got like things on the fridge. Fantastic. You can be organized, but are you being efficient with your
Mm.
time? Are you being efficient with your strategies? Are you being efficient with, you know, what it is that you are actually able to do on a day-to-day basis? Because same thing, you could be driving fast, but if you don't know where you're going, it doesn't mean anything. You could have all the organization in the world. You could have all your supplements laid out and, you know, everything laid out every single day to a T. But if you are not efficient with what you're doing, you're probably not actually being that productive.
True. Yeah. It's like you've got the map, you've got the GPS, you've got the, sights and seas on your tour, but you still don't have the end. Like, where are
Yes.
you going? Right.
Yes. Exactly. Just literally in circles, making donuts here. So let's literally, I think, dive into the questions right off the hop that you
Yeah.
guys can
Let's do
start
it.
to ask yourselves. The first thing I want to say is that when you are kind of looking at what it is you're working on versus, again, where it is you're trying to go, we need to see what isn't working. Okay. So yes, are you organized or are you efficient would be kind of question one. But then really, what is or what was your plan or your goal? And is it still where you even want to be? Because outside of life throwing you curveballs, it's okay for your goals to change. I think the
I think goals should change a lot
yeah.
of the time. Life is ever evolving, right? We're not a stagnant entity, so neither should your goals be.
Yep. Yep, exactly. So if your goals have changed, if they haven't changed, whatever it is, what you claim to be working on or what you started 2025 out wanting to work on, is that still where you want to be? If the answer is no, then you likely probably haven't been actually working that well towards those goals because there's something deep down inside of you that doesn't even want to be doing this anyways. And if you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it. So you might as well switch your goals because otherwise you're going to get stuck in this headspace of honestly just feeling like trash because you're working on something you don't want to work on, but then you're only
Or you feel
half-assing
like
it.
you're falling short on it because you're
Exactly.
not performing because you don't care.
Exactly. And then that just, you just know you're not showing up for yourself in the way that you want to be showing up. And that does not feel very good. So now you're spending your energy doing something you don't want to do, and you're not even making that much progress. This is not a good place to be mentally. So, what is or was your goal or plan? Is it still where you want to be? If the answer is no, it's time to reassess what are you doing? Where are you going? And if it is where you want to be, then the next thing you really have to ask yourself is, what is or what isn't working? And the big thing I want to say here is that when you start to think about what is or isn't working, when we're talking about both of these things, we want to look at them from a factual perspective. This is not a time for emotions. Okay. When we're talking about what isn't working, I don't want you like, let me put it like this. It doesn't sound like I suck. I'm so lazy. I can't ever stop watching Downton Abbey to go for my walk. You know, that's not what is factually not working. Okay. We're talking facts, not emotion. So, some examples of things that could be working really well for you is, you know, maybe you have committed to waking up at a certain time so that every morning before your kids wake up or before your man wakes up or before your dog wakes up, you get some uninterrupted time for yourself. Maybe that's been working really well. It's brought your stress levels down. It starts your day off really well or ends your day really well. But you have been putting aside 10 or 15 minutes to show up for yourself in that capacity. Maybe that's working really well. Maybe you started a new meal prep system and you have been able to prep your lunches for work and snacks during your workday really, really well. Now you're not stressed about what to eat. You're not spending money on fast food all the time or just like takeout all the time or Uber Eats. You feel like that's a huge part of your day where energy is more stable. You can feel your digestion's improved. Maybe that's working really, really well for you. Okay. Other ones.
Yeah, like maybe you have carved out the time that you get your workout in.
Yeah.
And, maybe for you that's 1 in the afternoon. Maybe for you that's 7 p.m. at night, but it works because you can consistently do it, right?
Exactly. Yes. Absolutely. At the end of the day, the perfection really doesn't matter. It's about what we're able to do consistently and keep showing up for.
Yeah, perfect kills good. Perfect
Totally.
kills it. If
Yep.
you want to be perfect, you're never going to be good at something
Yep.
because you're never going to get messy and trial and error and keep trying.
Yep. Absolutely. So what is working? What has been working well for you? Let's talk about that, you know?
And a good way to like look at what is working is look at your schedule,
Mhm.
right? Is something consistently showing up and getting done on a schedule? Then it's working.
Yep. Absolutely. And then likewise, you can literally also take that same approach to what isn't working. So again, if you're constantly trying to schedule things in, if every day you start off with a to-do list and there's always a couple things that aren't happening,
Or you're
what is
snoozing
not
your
working?
alarm 5 minutes, 10 minutes,
Yes,
15 minutes, right?
all the
Then that
time.
wake up time is not working.
Yes, yes, absolutely. But what isn't working? Maybe you were always leaving your steps to the end of the day and they're just not happening because kids come up or life comes up or you're just tired. Let's be honest, baby. You're just tired and talk yourself out of it every day. It's not working. Maybe you have been trying to cut calories, but you always find yourself going out for margarita night every Thursday with the girls from work, and that starts your weekend off on a spiral, and you always wind up overeating, losing control, saying I'll start Monday because certain events are coming up, because certain foods are in the house. What's not working?
Yeah, or you've got that like really solid week structure, but it completely falls apart on the weekend
Yes.
because you've let it be this
Carefree
moment where you
time.
step into something different and you're like, well, I'll try again Monday.
Yeah, yeah. And I know for a lot of people as well, like it feels a lot easier. Forget about the emotional aspect, the social aspect of the weekends. A lot of people lose track on the weekends or fall off track because they associate all the habits that are working, and this could be a big one actually based off what Nell said. All the habits that are working seem to work Monday to Friday between the hours of 9 a.m. Monday to 5 p.m. Friday. But once you are off the clock from work, a lot of people feel like I'm free, I can do whatever I want. And the I do whatever I want also then applies to their nutrition and their workouts because they no longer follow the same schedule. All of a sudden, like, oh, well, I slept in a little bit. I normally would have eaten at 7 and it's already 9:30. And now, I don't have a set lunchtime at 12:30 like I take for work. So now I'm not eating, and then I didn't eat all day and now I'm binging at night or whatever it is. You know, what's not working?
And
Um,
here's the thing, your weekend comes around every,
every weekend.
5 days,
Yep.
even 4, because we kind of start on a Friday night, right?
Yep.
And so that is part of your schedule.
Yeah.
And it's not working if you're not factoring that in.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what is working? What is not working from a factual perspective, not from an emotional perspective, you guys. um, the other thing you can start to think about here, okay? So we've gone over what your goals are, what it is you actually want to accomplish, what it is you are working towards, what is and what isn't working. One thing you can start to think about is in terms of where it is you want to be in 6 months from now, who it is you're trying to become, the goals that you want to achieve. A great question you can ask yourself is, who do you need to be in order to become this person? Or you could even say, like, who do you need to be in order to get these actions accomplished?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes looking at it from the big perspective of like, who do I need to be, can feel quite overwhelming because you feel like you got to change like your entire life, personality, everything. That's not necessarily what we have to do, but we should be asking ourselves, okay, who do I need to be in order to get these actions accomplished?
Yeah, because we look at this a lot of the time, who do I need to be for other people? But we
Yeah,
don't look at it in who do I need to be for myself, right? Who
absolutely.
do you need to be at work? You know who that person is. Who do you need to be as a parent? You know what that is, right? Who do you need to be the person you want to become?
Yep.
We don't ask that question.
Yep. So if we even apply this to what we just talked about, what is and what isn't working. Okay. So let's say you decided I really do need to sleep better. I need to sleep better so I can show up in my life more presence, that I'm not drinking 6 cups of coffee a day so that my hormones actually improve, because
She's
sleep
calling
plays
me
into
out.
everything. Yeah. I definitely am.
No, literally, we're sitting here. We just had this conversation.
Yep.
Who do I need to be to become this person? I do need to make some changes, and I have to become that person.
Yep.
Right? So I do have to ask, who do I need to become to make that happen?
Yep. Yep. For me, so we could totally share personally. I realized a big thing with my health phase, one thing that I was still holding on to is eating really late at night. And that was messing with my digestion. Okay. There's nothing wrong with eating food. It's not like food is going to, again, magically double in calories just because you eat it after 8 p.m. But there is something to be said for impacting your digestion, and specifically impacting your digestion before you go to sleep, which will then play into the quality of your sleep. For me, I am somebody who, like, I definitely peak in the morning. So when I wake up, I am up and going. And as a result, for me, it was pretty common for me to get 6 hours of sleep. Like, that was my regular. I was also eating at 9 o'clock at night, like a full dinner, and then going to bed at 10:30 or 11, right? This was messing with my digestion. It was something that I was really holding on to. And I had to realize in myself, this is not working if I'm trying to improve my sleep and improve my digestion. So I realized that in order to sleep better and have better digestion, I needed to be somebody who shifted my meals so that I actually finish eating 3 to 4 hours before going to bed.
Right.
And honestly, I'm very proud of myself. But no, I pretty much completely finish eating like 4.5 hours before bedtime now. And I cannot tell you how my digestion has improved so much. And for the past month now, I have been sleeping a solid 7.5 to 8.5 hours every night. It's insane. Nothing else I'm not doing or taking any other supplements to help with that sleep. That's something that I did.
And that's a huge win, right?
Yeah.
To be in line with that person you want to become.
Yeah.
For me, I'm dealing with a lot of food issues right now. And it wasn't until we literally journaled and I was like, oh, this is a lot of dairy in my diet. And I'll be real with you guys. I don't like meat. I used to be vegetarian. Yeah. I would happily eat my whole life. Yeah. So I very much relied heavily on dairy for a lot of my weight loss and a lot of my muscle building.
And it's easy to do when it's so good.
We just talked about how much cheese we love.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until it was all laid out factually that it was like, oh, look at this, the information here. It's right here. This is something that does need to change. Yep. And, now I have to make the steps to change it. And is it going to be a perfect process? Probably not. The first thing I did this morning, actually, I'll tell you guys.
Oh, yeah, tell me. Update me.
So yesterday, Rusty messaged me and was like, hey, let's dive into this.
Yeah.
Stop eating all the cheese, Alana. As I am listening to her voice note, I am eating cottage cheese.
That's amazing.
Right. And then, of course, the first thing I do this morning is I get up and I put milk in my coffee.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was halfway through that I was like, wait, this needs to change.
Yeah.
Right. So now I have, now I don't have the milk in the fridge.
Yeah.
Right. Because now I can step away from that and make that plan forward.
Absolutely.
But I had to reflect. I had to look at the facts.
Yep. Actually, I'm going to throw in one other one there from this was me last year. I realized that I was starting to develop an unhealthy relationship with Cool Whip.
And yes, I remember this. Yes, you posted about it.
Yeah, I really, for me, I just want to say right now, this whole trend online with people putting protein in their Cool Whip, I started that bitch. I just want to say that nobody was posting about Cool Whip.
Go timestamp that, guys.
And now it's everywhere. I posted ice cream sandwiches made from Cool Whip and protein powder, and in the video went viral. And now 8 months later, everybody's doing it. And I'm just
see, this is me. I was the cottage cheese and everything girl. Now I'm the cottage cheese and nothing girl. That's going to be a hard transition.
Yeah. But honestly, I realized last year, I'm okay, I really need to stop with this dependency on Cool Whip now, because it wasn't just that I was using it in things. I would just if I was sad, I was going to have a tablespoon of Cool Whip. I'm this is not.
Yeah, because at one point it becomes a tool to help you shift away from something else, but it no longer serves you. And that's what we have to look at when we're looking at reflecting on our goals.
Exactly.
Is what you've been doing no longer serving you? Because I lost a ton of weight and I built a ton of muscle eating a lot of dairy.
Yeah,
I did.
Yep.
But now it's a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Now it's not, now it's not as
It's not
conducive as
serving
it
me.
was once.
Yeah.
Once was. And it's not that you have to cut it out completely, but yeah, same thing. So anyways, what are you guys doing in order, or what actions do you need to create? Who do you need to become in order to get these actions accomplished? So some other ideas here. We talked about sleep, right? So
Yeah.
let's say you do want to sleep better. You need to be somebody who has a bedtime routine. You need to
Yeah.
stop lying to
Turn the
yourself.
TV off sooner.
Exactly. You need to stop lying to yourself and just saying, I'll go to bed 30 minutes earlier and sleep better. That's not going to be enough.
No.
You
I can tell you right
need,
now, if I take my cell phone in the bedroom, I scroll hours and hours and hours. If
yes.
I plug my phone in the kitchen,
Yep.
I go to
Literally
sleep.
where I leave it to. Yep. Yep. You need to have a bedtime routine. Okay. If you're trying to sleep better, you need to be somebody who does that. Your action needs to be the bedtime routine, and you need to be the person who has a bedtime routine. If you are trying to, eat more vegetables, okay, maybe you are somebody who has a salad once a day. So the action to become that person is that you are somebody who literally has a salad once a day. And that's going to boost your veggies huge. A big one I work with a lot of honestly just daytime workers, even night shift workers, right? Is they want to stop eating fast food. That's a
Yeah.
big goal for a lot of people. So if you are somebody who wants to stop eating fast food, you need to be somebody who's not leaving your food decisions up to the last minute and not having a
Yes.
plan in place. So you need to maybe be somebody who follows a plan instead of just winging it all the time.
Yeah, I think food plans get a lot of like flack because you shouldn't have to follow a food plan forever.
Yeah.
But there is a time and place where that is going to be very helpful in transition away
Massively
from
beneficial.
other things, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think where we go wrong is like, this is all I can ever do now.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
But yeah, I followed a food plan for a long time.
Yeah.
And that was really the thing that 100% took me away from ordering Tim Hortons breakfast bagel, Dairy Queen chicken nuggets and fries with gravy and ranch, and then wherever we ate out for dinner with 2 cocktails.
Yeah.
It was a meal plan that literally helped me step away from that.
Yes, absolutely. No, it can make a really big difference. And again, a lot of the time, the actions, this kind of leads us into the next step, which is fake it till you make it. Okay.
Oh, I love this. I live and breathe this.
Yeah, I me too. The fake it till you make it mentality is legit. Because what we're doing is we're taking the notion of what would you do to become this person, as we just talked about, and we're turning it into subconsciously over time by you just continuing to do these actions. You're no longer living the what would I do to become this person, and you
I want to be this person.
Yeah.
You're faking that you are this person until you are this person.
Exactly. So you're going from who would I be to become this person into I am this person, and it will happen if you continue to do it. So again, who do you need to be to become this person? What actions do you need to take to become this person? And then in order to fake it till you make it, the big last step here is, what are you doing today to become that person? What story exists for you today? What are you creating for yourself today? We tend to think, right? This whole podcast topic is, what have you done in the last 6 months? What are you doing for the next 6 months? That can feel very overwhelming. 6 months is a long time.
Yeah, and goal setting always does feel very future based.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if you don't have an action today, you're never going to have a future goal.
Yeah. Preach. Yeah. But it's true.
I mean, and that might sound harsh, but that's the reality of it.
It is.
One small choice today will add up.
Yep.
Doing nothing and thinking about it, never going to get you there.
Every single day. Yep. It's the truth. Nobody likes the idea of being 1% better. They're like, I want to be 100% or 100% better right now. First of all, that's never going to happen. So if you have that mentality and you put your hand up at the beginning of this podcast when we said when we said, are you where you want to be? If not, put your hand up. Those two things are correlated. You're not where you want to be because you want to be 100% better right now. And that's never going to happen. 1% better doesn't sound sexy until it's been 365 days and you are 365% better than where you were. Okay.
Amen. Work. Take us to church, Coach Frizzle.
Yeah, just missed. But no, honestly, it's 6 months sounds like a long time, but also, guys, think about it. We're already 6 months into the year. Time has flown by, and it's going to keep flying by. So you can either stay where you are now in another 6 months from now, or you could be better 6 months from now, excuse me, by simply asking yourself, what is it that I'm working on? Do I actually know what it is I'm working on? If I do I actually care about that thing? Is that actually something I do genuinely want to pursue and where I want to go? If it is, what is currently working for me? What is not working for me? What lines up with that goal? What doesn't line up with that goal? Factually, not emotionally. And then we're going to ask ourselves, okay, so who do I need to become in order to achieve this goal? What actions do I need to embody, develop, start pursuing in order to become this person? And then,
And get out of your way here in this step, right?
yeah,
For a lot of my journey, I had to say, do it anyways. Do it
yes,
fat,
yeah,
do it tired, do
yep,
it. And this might sound a little bit extreme, but I was 215 pounds.
yep,
I went to Thailand and did a yoga teacher training, and
yeah,
I was the
amazing.
only one there that had never done yoga, and I was in a very large body.
Yep,
But it got to this point where do it
do
anyways.
it
Do it
anyways.
fat, do it
Yep,
scared, do it tired,
yep.
because that was those little tiny daily actions that led to who I am today.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's so much power in that. And as you said, perfection kills, right? You said that earlier, perfection kills. And that's the idea. A lot of the time when we talk ourselves out of it, when we talk ourselves out of doing it now, it's because we're like, oh, yeah, like I'm tired, or like, I still have to put the laundry on, or I
Or
feel uncomfortable in my
even
body.
little things. Well, my workout clothes are tight,
Yep.
or I already changed into my home clothes for my
Yep.
work clothes, so I don't want to go to the grocery store.
Do it
Do it
anyways.
anyways.
Yep. Do it anyways. Absolutely. Um, So these are the steps. This is literally going to help you guys assess where you are versus where it is you're trying to go, and what you can start to do to move forward with success. Remember, whatever has happened in the past 6 months does not matter nearly as much as what is going to happen in the next 6 months. There is no such thing as losses. There's only lessons here. As long as you
Absolutely.
do look at what has happened from the attitude of, what is this teaching me? What lesson can I take from this? And
Yeah,
how
every
can I
time
move
we
forward?
stumble, every time we fall, it's an opportunity to get back up.
Yep.
Truly.
Yep.
Because every time you get back up, you build resiliency. You create a mindset that keeps going,
Yep.
that's tenacious. Honestly, I love the word tenacious
Yeah, I was
because it's
just
like
thinking that when you
stubborn
said
in
it.
a good way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I thought that when you said it. It's such a good word. It's such a strong word. So you guys, a quick one for you today. A little bit of motivation for halfway checkpoints. Also, if you guys know what the Christmas in July is officially called, please somebody put it in the comments, because
Like,
I know
I'm
this
not
is
getting
a
any
real
other work done
thing.
today. I'm just going down a rabbit hole.
I know this is a real thing. I used to work with a girl who did it every year with her family, and I was like, wow, that's wild.
What?
So anyways, same mentality here, right? New Year's resolution, whatever. 6 months. We're 6 months into the year. Where do you want to be in the next 6 months? Um, Hopefully this hit a chord with you guys, or if you are really feeling happy with how far you have journeyed, use this to light you up to still assess what is and isn't working, where it is you're going, and keep that trend going, because
Yes,
you're headed in the
keep
right
those
direction.
goals alive,
Yeah.
right? Evaluate what's next for you, because there should always be a
The
next.
next. Yes, that's where we build more excitement, absolutely, for life. Otherwise, if this, like I said, hit a chord and you feel like it might hit a chord for other people, please feel free to share this on your social media. That helps us out huge, and tag us in it,
Absolutely.
because we love to hear it. You can tag me at coach.frizzle on every platform.
And I'm on all the platforms as coach.alana.nel. And also, if you listen to this today and you're like, I am feeling a little bit lost.
Yep.
I hear what you're saying and I'm not sure where to go next.
Yep.
We're here. Send us a
Absolutely.
message. You can work with us.
Mhm.
You can chat with us. We're always happy to do that with you guys.
Absolutely. Yep. There's a link below where you guys can find us on social media, where you can also fill out a form to work with us in a one-on-one personalized setting, as well as some other little things that you guys can check out below. Otherwise, please consider leaving us a 5-star review. That helps us out a ton as well. Hit that subscribe button, and we will see you guys next week for our next episode.
Bye.